We have a very unusual spring in Kashmir at the moment. It's actually been snowing in the month of March. And it perhaps reflects the fact that this is a very unusual season in the valley. Who would have thought, even a year ago, that the Bharatiya Janata Party and the People's Democratic Party would actually form a government in Jammu and Kashmir? The big question, of course, is whether this spring, which has snow all over it, really marks a change in the climate of Jammu and Kashmir, or will we again see a frozen turbulence? Is this marriage really going to last, or is this simply another false dawn in Jammu and Kashmir? Those are the questions that we will ask. Give a big hand to our guest who's joined us, Mehbooba Mufti. She's not the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, but many believe she is still the most powerful person in Jammu and Kashmir. Let me start with that right at the very outset. Is this actually a change in season in Jammu and Kashmir? That in the month of March there's snow and the PDP has tied up with the BJP, or is this simply a shotgun marriage? Ki kuch dino ke liye kar lo, because most analysts are saying this will last at best for a year, and you're supposed to be in power for 6 years. Will this last fortnight, 1 month, 1 year, or 6 years?
Well, Rajdeep, I would not like to call it a marriage, because we have seen many marriages since 1947 till now. Marriage is something that takes place between two individuals, or at times between two families. We have seen it happening from 1947 till now. And in a marriage, you know, it is the personal thing. You want to enjoy something. You want to enjoy the power. But as far as PDP is concerned, when we, you know, entered into alliance, जब हमने कांग्रेस के साथ 2002 में alliance किया, उस वक्त भी we took 1 month. Because at that point of time also we wanted to enter into a partnership wherein we can get something for the people of Jammu and Kashmir. You know, that's why हमारा common minimum program बना, जिसमें, you know, हमने ये कहा कि जम्मू कश्मीर में reconciliation कैसा होगा, how do you address the Kashmir problem, how do you reconcile with the internal as well as the external dimension, as the Pakistani factor was there, release of prisoners like Sayyid Ali Shah Gilani, Yasin Malik, Shabir Shah, it was there, you know. So we started on a very positive note, and fortunately at that point of time, we had NDA government headed by Vajpayee ji. That point of time, they had apprehensions, because that policy which Mufti Sahab adopted, which was later on known as healing touch policy, crackdowns khatam kar diye, pota khatam kiya, logon ko sakhti karna band kar diya, prisoners se ko jailon se nikal diya against. तो उससे यहाँ थोड़ा apprehension था दिल्ली में. But once Vajpayee ji saw the transformation on the ground, because when he visited in Kashmir, for the first time, after Indira ji, during the normal times, you know, when a prime minister of a country visited Kashmir, there were no black flags. There was no shutdown. But there were thousands of people who came and received him. And then he said, you know, हम पाकिस्तान के साथ दोस्ती करेंगे, जम्मू कश्मीर की समस्या का समाधान इंसानियत के दायरे में करें, which had a, you know, I can't say what kind of an impact it had on the situation. And then I recall Vajpayee ji saying on his way back to Delhi that healing touch policy adopted by Mufti Sahab is the only policy. And that very same policy was endorsed by Sonia ji when there was transfer of power to, you know.
Ma'am.
No, I'm just.
I'm going to let you, but I will let you, complete that. But it's interesting. I'm asking you about 2015, and you're taking me back to 2002. I'm asking you about a relationship with Narendra Modi, and you're reminding me of Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
I need to do that because, you know, the same Congress who are raising hue and cry today, they have forgotten them when they were in alliance with us. At that point of time, our common minimum program was as it is with the BJP almost. Maybe there are certain more things. And maybe at this point of time, there is a prime minister who has more authority at the center and who will be able to deliver much more. We have that expectation. That's what I say that, you know, it has always been for PDP, it has been the welfare of the people. That's why, you know, we were able, even after our government ended in J&K, PDP and Congress, people got the benefits of that government. Muzaffarabad Road opened, Rawla Court Road opened, Pota was done away. Situation improved. There was more, restoration of democratic institution in the state, and people even today recall that period as a golden period. So even today, when we have entered into alliance with BJP, our goal is the same, that we want to have a partnership where the people of Jammu and Kashmir are put first, whether Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh. It's not about us. We may not last. We may last. But the thing is, if we last, what is it that is the people of Jammu and Kashmir are going to gain? Are they going to gain something, or it is just about the survival? Because,
So are you asking that Narendra Modi take a cue from Atal Bihari Vajpayee? Just as Vajpayee ji spoke famously in that speech that the solution to Kashmir should be within the daira of insaniyat. Insaniyat ke daire mein solution hona chahiye, within the limits of humanity. Is that what you're saying that Mr. Modi should do? Is that what you're hoping? Can Modi be a Vajpayee?
Well, to be very honest with you, I think, I need to acknowledge, here, that BJP has, walked quite a distance to meet the political aspirations, developmental and welfare of people in Jammu and Kashmir once when we, wrote down this common minimum program, the agenda for alliance. So I would say that they have already started on the path, because, the political points in our agenda for alliance starts with this, that, the special status of Jammu and Kashmir is to be maintained. And it is not something that, you could have changed. But I would like to, say before anybody, any person from the opposition is here and going to get after BJP, that it was Congress who said in 96, I think, when 95 or 96, when Narasimha was the Prime Minister, he said, sky is the limit as far as granting autonomy to Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Now they keep on telling BJP, oh, you were against 370. Why you have said that it's going to be maintained? So I request all the political parties of our country, please, when it comes to Jammu and Kashmir, we are trying to change the mindsets, both within Jammu and Kashmir and within the rest of the country. Please help us in doing that.
So you're willing to give Mr. Modi the benefit of the doubt, because on November 25th, 2014, when I was there during the election, you said in an interview, no, we want no truck with the BJP. Their agenda is very divisive. They want to pit Gujars against Pandits, Jammu against Kashmir, Muslim Kashmir versus Hindu India. It's dangerous and scary. We will come to power on our own. If you polarize Kashmir, you will again create alienation. That was November. We are now in March. I just want to know whether you believe that today you're willing to change your view or give the BJP the benefit of the doubt as a result of this common minimum program.
No, I don't think it's about changing anybody's views. It's about the mandate. Because I think, the greatest failure of our nation towards Jammu and Kashmir has been the democratic institutions have not been allowed to function there as they function in the other parts of the country. This election threw a mandate, wherein PDP got the mandate in Valley and BJP got in Jammu. So I think there was a message from the people that, this is the mandate, it's up to you whether you respect it or... See, PDP had two choices. Besides BJP, we could go with NC, we could go with Congress, we were getting unconditional support, and BJP had one more choice, I don't need to tell you. Besides us, they could go with, the other party. But we chose, after a lot of thinking, because we feel that if we have to change the mindset of rest of the country vis-a-vis Jammu and Kashmir, and also bring around a change in the mindset of the people living mostly, I would say the valley and around, then we two parties need to enter into a partnership and have a common minimum program wherein we can build an atmosphere of reconciliation, because if there is no peace, there is no development.
What is this common minimum program that you keep talking? I want to know what is the common minimum program must be based on trust, effectively. Yes. Now, we've seen in the past fortnight, you release Masrat Alam, BJP gets angry or incensed, particularly the Jammu BJP. Mufti Saab says that credit for peaceful election should go to the Hurriyat and to Pakistan. The BJP gets upset. You say that the mortal remains of Afzal Guru should be brought back and given to the family. The BJP gets angry. I want to know, what is this common minimum program? Common minimum program must be based on trust deficit. If every action of yours is going to lead to some kind of uproar, controversy, how will this common minimum program work? What is this common minimum program?
Well, Rashdeep, this is the reality. That's why I say this is a partnership between two different mindsets. It's not about Mufti Sahib and Modi ji or PDP and BJP. It's about Jammu Kashmir. What people think there and what people think in the rest of the country. That I'm so happy because there have been marriages of convenience where the couples kept things aside because they wanted to enjoy power. They were on honeymoon all the time. That's why I chose it to call it a partnership rather than, marriage. Because here we want the reality. I mean, how many people here know that Jammu Kashmir has a flag, which is there all the time for last 50 years. It has been there all the time on the Secretariat, along with our national flag. I don't think many people know about it. It seems, as if Mufti Sahib came to power and he got this flag, the Kashmir flag, out of some box and put it there. So I think these are the contradictions which are coming into open, and it's very good that country is at least getting educated, that Kashmir has a separate constitution, Kashmir has a separate flag, but at the same time, sovereignty of the country rules supreme. It is not as if, the Kashmir is trying to, or we are trying to overdo something, undo something.
Does that worry you though, ma'am? That there is this Hindu, what you said, mindset problem. There's a Hindu mindset in Jammu.
No, not Hindu mindset.
And a Muslim mindset in the valley. Does that worry you at the moment?
It is not about Hindu and Muslim. It is about the mindset, that has been created over the years within the country, and the mindset that has been kind of, you can say, facilitated. Because country, India is, it's the greatest democracy in the world. And we have some great institutions like Supreme Court. But why should the jurisdiction of Supreme Court be, applied selectively to Kashmir? If you have to hang Afzal Guru, you pick him up from 28 number and you say, it is the Supreme Court order. But if the same Supreme Court says that you can't hold Masrat Alam again and again without substantiating charges against him, nobody gives a thought, why are we subverting our own Supreme Court when it comes to Kashmir? Because we have been subverting our own democratic process when it came to Kashmir. Hats off to Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who had to announce from Red Fort that in 2002 there is going to be a free and fair election in Kashmir, and you see the change.
Does it worry you though that you release a Masrat Alam, automatically, immediately there's a hashtag, Mufti Muhammad Saeed pro-Pak PM. Does it worry you that people outside Kashmir still don't realize the reality of what is happening on the ground, that they are still caught in their own frozen mindsets? That the moment you release Masrat Alam, who, as you said, for 20 years has been in and out of detention 8 times without proper charges being framed, and television anchors will call him a pro-Pak PM, does that make it even more difficult for you to govern Kashmir?
See, what is my worry is that we should not, God forbid, create a situation like 2010 where 120 people were killed, and at that point of time when the Cabinet Committee on Security met, they gave a report that whatever happened in Jammu Kashmir was because of the misgovernance, governance deficit and mishandling of the state government, and Masrat Alam like people were created. So my priority is that we don't create that kind of situation where if you can, jail one Masrat Alam. But if you do what happened in 2010, you will have hundreds of Masrat Alam, moving on the roads of Jammu and Kashmir. And again...
But you released Gilani Saab and Yasin Malik in 2002. Yes. Has anything changed on the ground? You release Masrat Alam, he comes out of jail and still advocates the same Azadi separatist mindset. My point, do you really believe this will provide a healing touch? Releasing a Masrat Alam? In your manifesto, you said political prisoners must be released. They include young 18-year-old stone throwers. Do you believe they should be released? Well, or are you now scared?
No.
How can I do any of this because I have a partnership?
The only thing that scares me is that, God forbid, nothing like, a student is going to for a tuition, or Tufail Matu is going to play cricket and then there is a fire, he gets killed. Then another one falls prey. I'm scared of that kind of situation. I'm not scared because there is, some people were shouting in Rajya Sabha or Lok Sabha, oh, Mufti is going to release 10,000 prisoners. Do you know How many people are really in Kashmir under Public Safety Act? It's 16. Out of them, 2 stone pelters, 6, these timber smugglers, 2 criminals, 1 separatist leader. But the whole country, there are 10,000 people. Will
you release those 2 stone throwers now, or are you scared after Masrat Alam to release anything? Because Mr. Balbir Punj of the BJP may suddenly scream, or Dinesh Trivedi will scream that we have a pro-Pakistan.
Well, Rajdeep, as I said earlier also,
are you worried now?
We are here for reconciliation. We are here to do things for the benefit of Jammu and Kashmir. And if we cannot do it, it's better to go and pack our bags and sit at home.
No, but the release of Masrat Alam, do you believe it's a process of reconciliation? Because the Prime Minister said, I was not informed. The Home Minister says that the entire action should be reviewed. So I'm wondering how this partnership is going to work. Are you worried about this reaction? Are you have any regrets?
I wish, when Masrat Alam was released, and people should have been debating, how the Supreme Court of India has evolved, to the extent that there is a state government which has been all the time without being able to substantiate charges against a person, putting him behind the bars. And it is the strength of this country that there is a Supreme Court which has, given a judgment entirely to different what the security mindset we have in the country vis-a-vis Kashmir. That should have been the debate. And if Masrat Alam would not acknowledge it publicly, but I'm sure in the heart of his heart, or the people around him would have been talking, oh God, this is the Indian Supreme Court that has released him.
No regrets.
But we try to subvert even our own Supreme Court when it comes to Kashmir. How can we do that?
So no regrets. No regrets.
Because we have not done anything wrong.
No regrets. You have done nothing wrong.
No, nothing wrong. Because upholding the directives of Supreme Court, if that is wrong, then what do we do? Then tell us that, the Supreme Court does not apply to Jammu and Kashmir. Let's know that. Let's know that.
I'm going to open this up to the audience in a little while, but there's one question that a friend of mine, when I told him I'm going to interview you today, said, please ask Mehbooba, does her healing touch also include the Kashmiri Pandit? This was said by a Pandit friend of mine. And he gave a specific example that of an individual who is walking free, even though he is blamed for one of the worst massacres in your state. And not a single person involved in the massacre of the Kashmiri Pandits has been convicted. So while we can look at Masrat Alam at one end, there's also the Kashmiri Pandits who feel that you have not done enough to ensure that those who should be convicted for that massacre have not been touched. Do you want to tell me whether you'll do anything?
See, first of all, I said I'm not here to defend Masrat Alam.
Forget Masrat Alam.
No, because you said something. I told you earlier also, when in 2010, 120 people were killed, the highest forum of the cabinet ministry met in Delhi, and they came up with a report that it was the governance deficit, mishandling by the Congress and NC government, which led to the killing of 120 people. Please go to the records. So now it suits them to say Masrat Alam is a product of that agitation. I'm sure if, God forbid, we do what was done in 2010, there will be many more Masrat Alams. And I don't know if there can be so much panic with one Masrat Alam, who unfortunately has a very long, overflowing, beard, who has never, used gun or grenade or anything. Yes, he was involved in the
Do you believe that the rest of the country, you make a good point, do you believe the rest of the country, the moment today they see a Kashmiri Muslim with a beard, and one of your leaders told me this, the moment the rest of the country today sees a Kashmiri with a beard, they think he is Mahmud of Ghazni. This is the level to which this country has stereotyped the Kashmiri Muslim. Do you believe there is that danger?
It's not only about our country. Look, many of our Sikh brothers have been, even attacked in America. Everywhere. And unfortunately...
Do you believe there's discrimination against the Kashmiri Muslim outside Kashmir?
It is not only outside, it is the way some of the people who call them Muslims, some of the groups who are involved in terrorism, that has, kind of put us, every one of us, in a spot. And I'm ashamed of that. I'm ashamed of what ISIS is doing. I'm ashamed of, how, these people, these Bayaman, Buddha, those where idols were destroyed by Al-Qaeda. I'm ashamed of, those people calling themselves Muslims. But the thing is that we have to be at the
Are you ashamed of those who use the gun to try and settle the Kashmiri issue? Are you ashamed of those who try and kill innocent people? I come back to it.
Everybody, I condemn everybody. I condemn if there are fake encounters. I condemn when militants kill people in the name of, resolution of Kashmir. Gun is not going to solve our problem. It is going to be dialogue, it's going to be peace, it's going to be reconciliation, which we had started when the roads between the two Kashmirs were open. When we had released all these prisoners, they were out. There was no agitation during Mufti Saab's time. There was no stone pelting during Mufti Saab's time.
Can I just ask you? You didn't answer my Kashmiri Pandit question. I've got the name. I've got the name of the individual.
No, Rajdeep, let me
1 minute.
tell you.
Bitta Karate killed more than 20 Kashmiri Pandits. He still roams free. Are you going to order a retrial in his case? Are you willing to order a retrial in the case of Bitta Karate? It's a straight thing. I entirely appreciate what you've said on Mashrat Alam, and I think this country needs to also understand that there is a court. I'm willing to accept that. And maybe those in parliament need to also do reading on the Public Safety Act. But I'm asking you a straight question today. Do you believe Bitta Karate, killer of more than 20 Kashmiri Pandits, who's roaming free today, should also go through a retrial? Let's have the court, the law of the land apply.
Well, first of all, Rajdeep, let me tell you, the agenda for alliance does include, our Kashmiri Pandits, brethren, because I have been taught, my teachers have all the time been Kashmiri Pandits. It's not just, कि मैं बोलने के लिए बोलती हूँ. मैंने अपना बचपन कश्मीरी पंडितों की गोद में गुजरा. I know what it is. So I am equally, hurt. मेरे बच्चों को मालूम नहीं है कश्मीरी पंडित किसको कहते हैं. They don't know. But I have been. When I used to have a fight with my parents, I used to go and live with my Kashmiri Pandit, मेरी friend थी. I used to live there for months together. So I know what it is. But when you come to these Bitta Karate cases, they have been inside the jail. But unfortunately, it's only Bitta Karate. There may be many more against whom, the proofs, the charges have not been able to substantiate, So I think it is a process. That's why we always want that if we could have a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, wherein, whether it's Bitta Karate, whether there is somebody else who have killed people in fake encounters, we could do justice for all, not one-sided.
Will your government do that? You make a good point. Like in South Africa,
Yeah.
you believe the time has come for Jammu and Kashmir for a Truth and Reconciliation Commission where everyone who in the last 25 years has used the gun to kill innocent people is brought to justice, and Jammu and the Valley make a genuine effort for reconciliation.
I would love to do it, but unless and until we have all not only the BJP government.
Take it to Mr. Modi.
It's not only about Mr. Modi, it's about Congress, it's about, other parties. Because even after having a consensus on many things, including ESPA, during the UPA second, when the Prime Minister was holding those working group reports, there, BJP, Congress, NC, Communist Party of India, everybody agreed on many things which we have put in, in our agenda for alliance today. But today, all those parties are making a U-turn. They have their signatures on those reports that ESPA should go. The trade has to be taken to the second level. There has to be, release of prisoners. Cases have to be reviewed. Then many other things. Though it happened during the UPA second, but the reports of those working groups, which refer to all these things, were not implemented by the UPA second, and today they are making a U-turn. How can they do that?
So you believe the Congress has been doing a U-turn? I'm opening this up to the audience, but just one question which you didn't answer at the start. Is this marriage going to last, or partnership going to last for 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 6 years?
It all depends, how much we are able to deliver on the ground towards the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Because everybody has been talking about, flags, Mashrat Alam, Pakistan, and, Mufti saying this thing and that thing. And let me just say one thing, in my parliament election, the Hurriyat went from door to door. There were so many killings. On the day of elections, there was stone pelting. And after people voted, the women, उनको अपने हाथ पे मेहंदी लगाना पड़ा कि वो निशान छुपाने के लिए, because people used to stop them और blade से उनके उंगलियां छिलते थे. But as compared to this assembly elections, we saw less violence, which my father acknowledged. And we want to see not only people of Jammu and Kashmir.
But do we need to give a character certificate to the Hurriyat and or Pakistan?
No. It's about, acknowledging the fact that for some strategy or other reasons, they tried to, the violence level was brought down. But if we are able to, engage them and see that Pakistan, Hurriyat and other people have their stakes in our democratic process rather than in violence. We should work towards that, shouldn't we?
We should.
Shouldn't.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, you have the more difficult task. I can only ask the questions. You have to actually give the answers. So you have the more difficult task in Jammu and Kashmir. It's probably the most difficult state to manage, or Akhilesh Yadav might dispute that with Uttar Pradesh. But these are probably the two most difficult states in the country for a variety of reasons to manage. Let's open it up to the floor, because you are, you rarely speak at such public gatherings, and let's get in questions. Yes, the gentleman there, Mr. Bajaj, if you can just take a mic.
Thank you, Rajdeep. Mehbooba ji, you mentioned that you were following the directive of the Supreme Court and you had to release Alam. My question to you is simple. If Alam starts making anti-national statements, are you willing to re-arrest him?
Well, let me tell you one thing, all the leaders, we had Sheikh Abdullah. He was behind the bars for 20 years, and he was the one who started anti-India movement. Then the government at that point of time, one of the tallest leaders, not in height, but in stature, Mrs. Gandhi, not only got him out of jail, but she made him the chief minister of the country. Sheikh Saab during those 20 years was not, singing Jana Gana Mana or Sare Jahan Se Achha Hindustan Hamara. So this is a country, this is a democratic country. It's a fight between the ideas. We have to fight them, through democratic means. And I am sure that if we are able to wean away the rest of the people, because where do they get the strength from? Discontent, alienation of the people around them. But if we are able to win over those people, it's like fish out of water. So we are trying to win over the hearts and minds of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and also try not to create situations like 2010, which give birth to people like Masrat Alam. We are trying to address the situation rather than the person.
Okay. Let's get a few more questions, a couple of more questions. Yes, the gentleman on this side.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. When we talk about Kashmir, one thing that draws our attention is tourism always. It's a big advantage for Kashmir. Since your government is in power, just wanted to have your feedback about your priorities or your steps that you want to take regarding development of tourism, as I feel that a lot more can be done to attract tourists from all across the world.
Well, tourism is something which has been always close to my father's heart. He was a tourism minister during Rajiv Gandhi's time, and he has kept the department with him because he has lots of ideas, lots of vision. And this time we are also going to develop Jammu as a separate tourism destination. There are so many beautiful places in Jammu also, and also upgrade the present infrastructure that we have available in the valley, which is not sufficient enough, and also explore new places. And also you'll see how we can engage the tourists more and see that he has something for the kids, there is something for the young couples, adventure tourism, other kinds of tourism, golf and everything. So we're trying to work on that, and I'm sure you will not be disappointed after a year.
I was in Kashmir a few months ago, and the Shikara wala said that he hasn't been able to improve the quality of his Shikara over the last 10, 15 years. The fact is that you haven't taken tourism to the next level. I mean, you should have the Dal Lake lined up with cafes. There's only one cafe coffee day today in Srinagar. What do the young of Kashmir do after 6 p.m.? Let's be clear, there are no movie theaters. 25 years, a young Kashmiri told me, 2 generations have been destroyed. There's your one radio FM channel with this young man runs bravely through the floods of Kashmir. He was doing it as a one-man show. There are remarkable young Kashmiris. What are you going to do to actually give them a chance to be truly entrepreneurial?
Yeah, it's very sad, Rajdeep. I keep on thinking because
what will you
when
do?
we were young, we had so many things to do. We could go out, play, do all kinds of stuff. We would bunk our classes from the college and go to see a movie. All that kind of things were there. But now, there is nothing, everything is,
Isn't that possible? Do you think that it is possible
of course,
to get movie theaters and to have cafes along the valley?
I want to have a McDonald's here because I want to have a McDonald's in Valley also, You
want a McDonald's in the valley?
We want to have that kind of open kind of places where these young people can go and sit and chat. We want to have more coffee houses. We want to have more libraries, where these young people can go and sit and read and have coffee and things. Of course, my father got just 3 years. In 2002, and at that point of time, militancy was at the peak. And tourism was started, started getting better at that point of time. But inshallah, we are hopeful. Once, this government starts functioning, I am hopeful, inshallah, after the end of 6 years, everybody who visits Kashmir will see it's a different place. It is a real paradise that God had given us.
Okay. I look forward to more than just McDonald's coming to Kashmir.
I love that.
You need much more than McDonald's.
I'm a McDonald's freak, I love it, so that's why.
Achha, you are a McDonald's freak.
Yeah.
Good. Let me just get in one or two more questions. The gentleman there, yes.
Mehbooba, I want to understand that Kashmir was destroyed in last 25 years through militancy which was supported by Pakistan. And despite that, Kashmiris believe that Pakistan is better for them than India and they want to remain aloof from India. How has Section 370 helped Kashmir in 67 years? By not allowing Kashmir to integrate with the rest of the India, it has remained as a problem state, not just for India, but for the whole world, and Kashmiris have suffered in the process. Don't you feel that by changing your stance for one, you could integrate with the country, you could become part of the Supreme Court, which would...
So basically you're saying that the BJP should support maybe Mehbooba on AFSPA, and she should support the BJP in scrapping Article 370. Has Article 370 really helped Jammu and Kashmir?
Well,
honest answer.
Well, again, Rajdeep, I think, it's again a misconception about Article 370. The land of Jammu Kashmir is with us, with the country, isn't it? Physically, it's there. So you need to, get out of this, phobia of Article 370. You need to see how you can, integrate emotionally the people of Jammu and Kashmir. It's not about land, it's not about laws. It's about how do you connect with them. For that, you have to feel their pain. You have to cry. I understand, when an army person gets killed, I mean, we all feel sad. But you have to show the same kind of compassion, sympathy. When an 11-year-old boy or a college-going student is shot for no reason. I mean, 120 people killed in 2010, not a single one of them was a militant. I have said it again and again, if one of them was a militant, I'm going to give up politics. So you need to connect with Kashmir emotionally. If you think 370 is something, if you remove it from the paper, everything is going to be hanky-dory. No, it doesn't happen that way.
Balbir Punj is here. Let me get a BJP view. Do you want Article 370 to be scrapped, Mr. Punj? Do you believe that you're in government now? You have also changed. You have changed with the season.
Everybody evolves. Everybody evolves. And at the moment, the issue is not 370. The issue is, basic issue is, if you talk in terms of Vajpayee ji's concept ke insaniyat ke daure mein hona chahiye sab kuch, and if you talk in terms of your association with Kashmiri Pandits, I'll be very happy to know from Mehbooba as to what she and her party has done in the last 20 years to bring back those Kashmiri Pandits, or what do they plan to do now onwards? That is the issue. If you are able to get the Kashmiri Pandits back, and that can happen only if you offer them security, that can happen only if there is no discrimination against them on religious grounds. Right. Only then they will come back, and if they come back, I can assure you this will be a great leap in the what you call as the emotional integration of Kashmir with the rest of India. Thank you.
Well, first of all, I will like to tell Mr. Punj, it's not me, it's us now. So don't forget that.
Well said. Well said.
It's us, and I don't want to, keep on going back to my father. Whatever little was done vis-a-vis Kashmiri Pandits, it was done during those 3 years. For the first time, people in thousands started visiting Tulmula. We built a complex there. We started building a complex in, we built a complex in Matan where they go when they are, there is also that temple there. We built a separate complex in Sheikhpura. Not only that, I did not want to say it here, but now I am saying it publicly. During my father's tenure, we tried to collect the data of the people who were living in the valley. Some of them who were educated enough. We gave employment to maybe 200-300 without anybody knowing about it. So we don't talk about certain things because we don't want to put them in a spot. So even today, my father, we feel that Kashmir is incomplete without Kashmiri Pandits. But it's not about giving them security. It's about, the building an environment around us so that they can come back with honor and dignity and take, there may be problems,
But you think this gap between as the mandate showed, between a Hindu-dominated Jammu, a Muslim-dominated Valley, and a Buddhist-dominated Ladakh can be bridged? You believe you can bridge it? You don't believe it has reached the point where it is impossible to govern Jammu and Kashmir today?
No, that's what.
Where you have your constituency in the Valley, BJP has its constituency in Jammu. You believe it is possible to bridge it? You and Nirmal Singh can do work together?
That is the purpose of this alliance. Otherwise, my father at this point of time, he has been the Home Minister. His 3 years were the best years. I mean, so many historical things happened during that tenure.
Omar Abdullah says his years were the best years of tourism. Omar Abdullah, with whom you will never sit on a panel. Why can't you and Omar Abdullah come together?
Because then we'll be, talking about each other rather than about Jammu and Kashmir. So that's why I thought, we need to talk about Jammu and Kashmir.
Let me ask you in conclusion, ma'am. You've been very you keep mentioning 2002 and Vajpayee.
Yeah.
You've met Narendra Modi briefly. You've attended Amit Shah's son's wedding also. How do you see Modi in comparison to Vajpayee? Compare the two for me at the moment. Modi and Vajpayee. Do you believe that you are willing to give the same amount of trust to Narendra Modi as you once gave Atal Bihari Vajpayee? Or is this a marriage of partnership of opportunism? You had no choice because of the nature of the mandate?
No, it's not about opportunism. My father has said time and again that it is a very well thought because, as you rightly said, we want to bridge the gap. Because if we don't bridge the gap between Jammu and Kashmir, we will not be able to bridge the gap between Jammu and Kashmir and the rest of the country. So, having said that, we can't compare Mr. Modi with Mr. Vajpayee because Vajpayee ji evolved over so many years. It took him a long time. So Modi ji has been the Prime Minister of this country just not even a year back. So once he gets the feel of everything, he understands, now they are also getting the feel of what Kashmir is about. Because every small thing is, it's blown out of proportion. And they get, and when they come to know what really happened there, then they feel, oh, it's not like this. So I think they are also learning with the process. But I would say that, as I said earlier also, Mr. Modi does have the understanding. Because this agenda of alliance would not have materialized if Mr. Modi did not have the heart, the largeness of the heart to accommodate certain things which, I'm sure the opposition is going to, kind of try to put them
So you have faith in Mr. Modi. You have gone into this alliance in the full belief that Narendra Modi can actually make this alliance work.
Well, I think, in past, there have been instances when people have tried to subvert our democratic processes, our election process, our Supreme Court process vis-a-vis Kashmir. But me, as a Kashmiri, have faith because Narendra Modi has been elected by crores of the people. He has the mandate of this country. So how can I have no faith in a Prime Minister who has such kind of a mandate, such kind of a moral authority? How can I say, no, I don't have? I want to, believe that, he will be able to rise up to the occasion and, deliver what we expect him to deliver vis-a-vis whether it's a political process or the development of Jammu and Kashmir or the welfare of the Jammu and because we believe, because I heard all the people who are sitting here that India is a power, it has a great role. I think to have peace in the subcontinent, we need to have peace in Jammu and Kashmir.
I take your point. I believe, in fact, Ram Madhav and Hasib Drabu, the two people who framed this common minimum program, have become the Ram Rahim. What did you call them?
Yeah, that's right. They've
become the new...
Yeah, that's right.
A new marriage between an RSS pracharak and one of your key men of the PDP.
That's right.
Truly, the season of Kashmir has changed. If I had got you 1 year ago, I don't think you would have said 50% of what you said today or 90%. It's a good, positive sign, Mehbooba Mufti. The seasons of Jammu and Kashmir are changing. There's winter in spring, and hopefully it will bring a glorious summer.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Nirmal Singh would have said Jai Shri Ram, you've said Inshallah, but that's the nature of the Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister relationship there. Ladies and gentlemen, Mehbooba Mufti of the PDP.
Thank you, Rajdeep. Thank you, ma'am. May I please call upon Mr. Raj Kumar, Executive Director, LIC, to come up on stage and present a small token of appreciation to Ms. Mufti.